and welcome to Six Figure Signature Offers, the podcast for women in business who want to create brands that become the hot tamale of their industry and sold out scalable offers that bring home the bacon without burning them out. I'm your host, online business strategist Robin Birkin. I've gone from managing 8-figure marketing budgets and big teams to creating 2 multi-6-figure businesses in part-time hours by design. If you're ready to attract Cloud9 clients in droves, sell out your scalable offers, and not bring your laptop to the beach, then welcome, let's go. I'm really excited to speak more about the behind the scenes of my business and exactly what it looks like when you have on the front end what is a very simple and uncomplicated business, but that on the back end is still very simple, but is actually highly strategic. So if you have been around for a while, you know that what I teach is that you will have one hero scalable signature offer. So that is going to be a mid to high ticket group offer, whether that is an online course, a group coaching program, a mastermind, whatever that looks like, but somewhere in that sphere of scalable revenue, but at the max revenue potential without needing to have, all of these complex upsells and funnels and all of these things happening. And then what you will do is with that hero signature offer, you will live launch that regularly. So by that, I mean like 4 times a year. No more of that 1 or 2 times per year big affiliate launches, none of that. What I teach is that you will have a rinse and repeat launch structure whereby we do have some people who are doing the weekly and monthly launch cadence, but there's a little bit of nuance to that because obviously you can't necessarily launch to your full list that many times. But a lot of what I teach with my clients is that we will have the 4 to 6 live launches per year, and you get to launch that to your full list, and then you get to have periods of by and large rest in between and just being able to nurture and serve your audience, grow your audience, be with your family and love on your family, all of those things. So if you have been around for any length of time, you know that this is what I teach. But there is something else that I have not really spoken about publicly before. Anyone who is in my programs knows about it, and so many of my clients do this successfully, and the ones who scale and grow their revenue month on month on month do this too. All of the successful business owners you see online also do this too. And I wanted to speak to this because this is truly one of the best ways to grow your revenue. And this is exactly what I did when in August 2024, I shut down my life coaching business. It was so successful. I loved this business. It felt, and especially having started again in what is a very saturated niche, which is the business coaching niche, I never take for granted how easy that business was because I had grown it to that level. It felt like I clicked my fingers and my Instagram would grow. I would click my fingers and be like, boom, 1,000 followers from that post. My podcast was generating about 20,000 downloads per month. I would get cheap leads. I would very easily guarantee 20 to 30 people per launch on a lazy launch, whereas typically I was getting, 50 plus people per intake of my online course. I had just 1 to 2 live calls per month, level 10 easy for my business when I had that business. But there was a problem, which was that it was hugely misaligned with my life and where I was. And there was this almost a couple of moments that led to me quitting that business. Moment number 1 was when I was approached in the schoolyard by a mum who just had a miscarriage, who was like, I've seen you on YouTube talking about how to increase your uterine lining. And for whatever reason in that, I was like, oh, I don't think I want to be known in the schoolyard for that. And also because I didn't want my kids' story to be something that I had spoken about. So if you see me, like, I don't publish my kids' photos on social media, so no shade to people who do, but I'm very private with many aspects of my life and did not want my kids to sort of be outed by me. I don't know how else to say that. So I had this sort of feeling of that's where I was. August 2023, I went away to a mastermind retreat in Queensland. And it was in August 2023, I batch recorded a bunch of podcast episodes. And I came back from that retreat with the September episodes. And my podcast manager was like, I can't use any of these for whatever reason. The audio is just skipping about. It's uneditable. And what had happened was I'd put in an SD card into the recorder that was too large. And so it just was not compatible. And there was no way that I could record anymore. And I just said to her, I really don't think I can record another podcast episode. It took me then a full year of wanting to make sure that this was the true choice that I made. Because like I said, it was an easy breezy business. You build enough leverage in a business that there is a payoff point. And I was 100% at that payoff point. And I had 2 staff members, like I had bills to pay, and this business was by and large super successful. Well, I felt like it was very successful and easy to run. And so August 2024, I was like, yeah, it's like I can't run this business anymore. It doesn't feel aligned. It doesn't feel good at all. And so I shut down that business in August of 2024. I deleted more than 5,000 email subscribers in one day. And then I went back later and deleted another couple of thousand. I closed my program and restarted my Instagram, all of the things. And it very much was starting from scratch again. The problem with when you sort of start from scratch in that way is that I already had 2 virtual assistants. I was already paying multiple thousands of dollars for my CRM platform. My expenses for my business were running and do run at like $5,000 to $10,000 per month. So how do you close all your programs and start again? Because I've been running this mastermind now for many, many years, but running it in conjunction with the fertility business was just like too many things on the boil at once, especially at the point when I felt like I was trying to run both and flip-flopping between both brands. It had gone down to a very small number of members, like maybe 3 members who were not paying very much at all. So when I say pretty much starting from scratch, I mean pretty much starting from scratch. And so it's a very hard thing because you kind of like, unless you really shut down the business and start your CRM back up again, fire all your team members, you really have to make sure that you are making enough revenue in your business because you already start each month with a baseline of expenses. So failure for me, or even just going slow for me, didn't really feel like an option. And so what did I do? 2 things. Number 1, you already know about. I had a hero signature offer at a mid to high level price point that had continuity and recurring revenue baked in. It was the Peace and Profit Mastermind. So I love this offer. I love serving my clients in this way. Like, this offer just is like the heartstrings offer, right? And so had the Peace and Profit Mastermind. But the thing you probably did know about, but no one speaks about, and everybody does this, and I want this to be something that you think about too, was that I was not just relying on the Peace and Profit Mastermind and quarterly launches for my revenue. That's risky. And I'll tell you straight up right now, it took a little bit of time to dial in my messaging and my voice. And if you are someone who is like 3 years into business or 3 years into a new niche, whatever that is, it takes a hot minute for you to find out your positioning and what works and what levers your audience wants to hear about. And so if that is where you're at and you're like, well, no, but I want to make, like, within the space of a year, I want to make $100,000, $200,000. Maybe you want to double your business. You can't be reliant on just 4 launches revenue, when what if 1 or 2 launches don't go the way that you want? My friend, that's super risky. But how do you still retain the simplicity in your business? How do you still feel like you are rested? How do you stop yourself from the shiny object syndrome that I have been sucked into many times, can I tell you, of the low ticket offer dream that actually never really eventuates and is so much more work than you think it is, right? Literally, low ticket offers are the thing you launch once everything else is working and dialed in and going fine. So what do you have? Well, you have revenue sources behind the scenes. Now, if you listen to last week's episode, you can absolutely still have one-to-one offers as a revenue source, but you will have other revenue sources behind the scenes that are also allowing you to increase your revenue month on month. And the reason that this is important is because, again, if you have one launch that doesn't go well and bring in your revenue, but you had plotted out on your promotional dashboard that, let's say, launch number 1 is going to bring in 10 people, launch number 2, 20 people, launch number 3, 40 people, launch number 4, 80 people. Let's just say that every launch you're like, I'm going to double. Well, what if launch number 1 only pulls in 2 people? And so obviously you have to work on the conversion rate for the next one, but how do you pay yourself? How do you pay your contractors? How do you pay for meta ads if launch number 1 didn't perform well? So you can say, okay, fine, well, I guess I'll just go with the same number for launch number 2, but what if you've just exhausted all your leads? That is not the place that you want to be in. You still want to be able to gun for more in the next launch and keep increasing your revenue. How do you do that? Well, with offers and promotions that are very low lift, easy to execute on the back end. And that is exactly what I did. So I had a number of offers that were sort of on the back end. I mean, I would sometimes speak about them publicly, and some of them were front end promotions, but they weren't anything that was like a significant number of time to execute. They weren't anything that was particularly hard to deliver. That is how I was able to keep launching, keep investing in Facebook ads, keep paying my team, keep increasing my business launch on launch, so that 1 year later, it wasn't just revenue from the mastermind, but primarily it was revenue from the mastermind. I had $100,000 in revenue secured. So that was August in 2025. And that is how you keep, my friend, increasing your revenue, is by having simple yet strategic, diversified offers that you're also launching at the same time. Now, if you're like, tell me more, like specifically tell me more and tell me how I should do this for my business. Give me some templates, give me the to-do list, help me plan this out for my business. I would love to invite you to my upcoming workshop. If you are listening to this, today as it's released, I've just run this and I've decided to run an encore. So if you head to launcheasylife.com/workshop, I am running a workshop on exactly how to stack cash between each launches so that your one single launch does not hold your entire rest of your year hostage, so that you get to have diversified revenue streams and so that you get to stack cash month on month on month, and that you get to, in 12 months, if you put in the effort, put in the work, have those diversified revenue streams, you too can do something like what I did, which is land with a $100,000 revenue month, and obviously multiple 6 figures in revenue in just over 1 year, right? That's what I want for you. If you would like to learn that, please come along to my workshop, check the show notes below, click on the link, jump on my Instagram, whatever suits you. I would love to teach you more about exactly what that looks like, because not enough people are speaking about this, and this is actually how you make sure that not everything is ride or die on one single launch. It's what all of my clients inside the mastermind who are getting great results do. I would love to teach you all about it. So I can't wait to see you, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.